Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and this is your weekly motivation segment. You are 10 minutes away from being inspired, clear, and ready to rock out your business this week. So grab a coffee or green juice and let's get started. Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and today's topic is all about the time for you to be queen is right here and right now. That's right. The days of waiting for the perfect moment, the days of thinking someone else is going to do it or handle it or show up, or that fame or money or impact or running a huge company is for other people. Women aren't thinking like that anymore. You know, when I grew up with this mentality that all of the things that I just listed, that was for other people. And yet there was something inside me that I always knew I was meant for more. But I kept waiting patiently and sitting in the back pew of my church, or when I would go to seminars, I would sit in the back row, and I just kept waiting, to be discovered. I kept waiting for permission. I kept waiting for, quite frankly, someone else to say, Gina, it's time to get on with your life. And what I am so in tune with in my life today is that I'm not waiting any longer. And by the way, that instruction wasn't spiritual. It didn't come from God. It came from all the conditioning that I had, that the big things in life were for other people. Today I've made a different decision, because today I've gotten so connected with God that I know that I have a big purpose, and so do you. And taking the stage and getting your message out into the world and writing the books and doing the TV shows and looking fabulous and traveling and being the women who have it all, that's what's going on with women these days. No longer, and regardless of age, you are not too young to get started and you are not too old to get yourself started. It's all of us are just waking up to the time for women is now. And there is this sense of urgency that if you do not ride this wave, and it's not about being a fear-based thought, but you're going to get left behind. Because the women who get, you know what, if you have been waiting for your time to live a big life, to take center stage, to make an impact, to make your money, it's not coming, it's here. That means showing up in your life in a big way today and surrounding yourself with the other women who are totally seizing this time as well. You know, women around the world, this isn't just an American thing, this isn't just a young thing, this isn't just an older thing. Women around the world of all ages, of all ethnicities, are waking up to what's going on in government, what's going on in society, what's going on with business, science, technology, education, the arts, like whatever area you are meant to leave your thumbprint in, wake up and give of that today. Because I'm telling you, the world has been waiting for the year of the woman, and it is here. And I know that you have been waiting for it as well. And here's the best news. You have been preparing your entire life for this moment. You know that little girl inside of you who knew she was meant for something more? Today's that day, ta-da, it's here. And you were right. You were right and you are right. You are meant for something more. The world needs your sensitivity, your insight, your spirituality, your compassion, your heart, your skill, your ability to make things happen in a way that's connected with your own value system. You know, now there are so many ways to do life. And for you to get that, you being a feminine leader, you speaking up, you being bold, and when I say bold, I'm not talking about being overly masculine. I'm not talking about taking the bull by the horns. I'm not talking about elbowing your way in. I'm talking about being bold to speak up, to say out loud what other people are thinking, to ask for your needs to be met, to say no to what you've been saying yes to start to say yes to what you've been saying no to, those things that you really desire. This is the boldness that women have today. So when you get that the time to be queen is now, it's an invitation for you to go and search within. And that's what I'm inviting you to do right now. Go within you. What does it mean for you to be queen of your life this week? And when you get that, I want you to study 3 other women this week. Other women that are totally going for it. Maybe it's someone you're following on Instagram. Maybe it's someone you read about in a magazine. Maybe it's someone that you know and you've just been meaning to reach out to and connect to. But thoughts grow stronger as they are shared, says the Course in Miracles. And when you are putting yourself and taking responsibility for your own super high vibration of being the queen of your life, and you are connecting intentionally with other women who are doing the same thing, you're going to get, we have a role here. We have a role to speak up. And I am not saying this from an angry place. I am saying this from such a place of pleasure. I am saying this from such a place of your time has arrived. So has mine, and so have all of our sisters, regardless of age, regardless of where we've come from, regardless of industry. That's one thing that the internet and technology has made so available for women like us. We can have a voice, we can have a business, we can make money, we can make an impact. We can harness our power for the good of this world. And I don't need to tell you how much this world needs us. It's time for us to stop sitting on the sidelines, stop reading the articles in the newspaper and saying, oh my God, this is so awful, and doing nothing about it, actually. Us feeling bad about what's going on and saying that this shouldn't be happening or blaming whoever is in power. It's time for us to actually put ourselves in power so that we are the ones making a difference. It is up to us now. That whole story that someone else was going to do something, we have got to get that it isn't true, because here's what they are doing. So I'm not saying this to create divisiveness as much as I am saying to women, it is time for us to wake up. If we actually are as appalled that there is the level of sex trafficking going on in the world as we say amongst ourselves, or when we read a little article, we will start doing something about that. If we are as appalled that our food system is getting filled with these chemicals and getting cloned and is like not real food anymore, then we will start speaking up and doing something about this. The same with whatever issues are important to you, getting the understanding that yes, you can make a difference. And I'm there with you, right? I've read the same articles. I've sat there with that same helplessness. I've sat there with that same desire of, well, I want to do something. And then all of those messages of like, well, who am I and what am I going to do? And what difference does my $10 make? And are those organizations even going to do any good with that money? And does it really matter? And isn't someone else going to come in and save the day anyways? The people that are doing the good, George and Amal, they're doing their part. J-Lo, she's doing hers. It's time for me and you to step up. So I'm going to invite you today to find the way that's important to you to get that the time for you being queen is now. Is it for you to pitch yourself to be on someone's podcast? Is it for you to support an organization? Is it for you to connect with another community of queens to create whatever in the world that's important to you? You decide. I'm pretty sure it's take a stand for the and it's all of the above. You know, when you pray, you will get your miracle. I remember there was a time when I was just like, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. And there are all kinds of causes that I wanted to help. And I just wasn't led. Like should I do this one or that one or these 15, or I got overwhelmed. And I don't normally get overwhelmed. So I prayed and I said, dear God, I want to be personally connected to knowing that I'm making a difference. Yes, I know I do that in my business and other ways, but this one was from a contribution standpoint. And sure enough, within days, I think it was 2 days, in my inbox, a friend of mine had gone on a trip to Peru, and she had met with the leaders of an orphanage where there are all these really beautiful, smart children that were living in a commune setting, and they needed help and funding and support. And there were videos taken, and I got to see the children, and I got to see the leaders of the organization. They really had my spiritual philosophy and my philosophy of mindful psychology. Bam, I knew, like, I'm not here to save the world in its totality, but I could make a difference in those children's lives and in the leaders of that orphanage's life. And I had put myself in a position where I was able to write a check. And that was one way that I got to be queen now. I got to make a contribution. Other ways are stemming from my own career. There's a boldness that you need to have, whether it's you're going to be bold and you're going to go put that post on social media today. You're going to go put up go do that IG story. You're going to go pitch yourself to be on some television show. Be bold, because the time for being queen is now. You get to decide what that is and what it looks like. And this is what I'm going to invite you to do. Start with one thing. One thing. Take one action step today. And I personally am so interested to know what it is. So please leave a comment. Please share this video with other friends of yours. It is so important that women like us are in this conversation, and that it builds and grows, where it gives all women permission to get that this is the year of the woman, and the time for being queen is today.